said two words that was like music to my ears. She said, I follow a 2-hour workday. Those two words, 2-hour workday, was, it hit me. And I'm like, this is something that I want to be involved in. I want to do something like this. Because here's the thing, I didn't have time. Now, a lot of people have it. I didn't. I was working full time. I had my kids, 3 kids. Being girls is a lot to handle as it is. And you guys that are married, marriage takes work. So I used to get home at night, not having energy left for my family, not seeing my children, because I was always working and still not making enough money. So I asked this, it was Cecilia that I bought from, and I asked her, okay, tell me more about it. And she gave me her website address, and I put my email in, and she invited me to a webinar like tonight. And I remember sitting on that webinar, and I remember hearing Amy's story. If this woman that worked 2 jobs can make time to change her life, then I can definitely do this. And I remember it took me 3 weeks to save up for the money. Now, where there's a will, there's a way, my friend. If you want to make a change in your life, it's up to you. It wasn't up to Cecilia that day for me to make the change and take action. It was up to me. I wanted to change my future. I was ready for a change. One thing was, for me, was that I didn't want to recruit. So when I found out on this webinar that you're going to learn attraction marketing, which means I don't have to recruit, I don't have to phone after people, I don't have to bother friends and family, I was like, man, this sounds good. Write me up. So I absolutely loved it, because I started with a 0 following on TikTok, guys. I was barely on social media that time. I started with a 0 following, had absolutely no clue how this business worked. And I made $1 million South African rand in 6 months doing this. So if you were worried about, oh, I have to have a following, oh, I have to have this and this and this, and take it from someone that had to Google what digital marketing meant. Take it to someone that was already busy. I wasn't looking for more work. I was just looking for a better life. And never in my entire life did I think in 5 weeks I would leave my full-time beauty salon, because you know what? I knew I found something different. I knew I found a way to work smarter or not harder. Because let me ask you today, why are you working? You're working because you want to make a living. But I'm sure work is not first priority. If you lie on your deathbed, you're not gonna say, I wish I worked more. You're gonna say, I wish I spent more time with my kids. I wish I got to know them better. I wish I had more family time, right? This is why we work. And this is just a way to work smarter and not harder. And I was thinking today, because someone actually asked this on my live this morning, and they asked me, what would you say if you look back? What advice would you give yourself? When you started? And I said, without a doubt, I would have not worried about what other people think of me, because I was so freaking worried about what people were going to think of me when I start putting my face out there and talk about this program, what they were going to think of me. Because if I didn't care, I would have my first sale in the first couple of days. I can promise you that. But I had my first sale at 4 weeks. And from there on, I'm very close to my 2nd million now, which is so freaking awesome, because you learn how to build an email list inside you. You learn how to nurture your leads. You learn everything. You don't absolutely have to know nothing about digital marketing. So, one thing, I actually made a note here because I saw the questions in the comment box. If $1 million in 6 months makes you scared, or it sounds too good to be true, you don't have to make $1 million. You don't have to go for $1 million. I didn't go for $1 million because to me, it all sounded too good to be true. I was like, I just needed 20,000 Rand a month. That's about $1,000 a month. I was happy. If I could make that, I was happy. Well, when I made it by the 5th week, I was like, bye salon, happy digital marketing. This is my new life. And like Cecilia said, once you start seeing the impact that you are now having on other people, when you start getting the phone calls, Lizelle, thank you so much for showing up that day. When you get the emails, oh my goodness, Lizelle, I can pay rent this month without having to worry about checking my bank account. It's so amazing, because we can always make money. But when you change lives in the process, it's a whole different ball game. And it's such an honor to sit on a webinar and tell you this, guys, because just about 7 months ago, I was sitting on that side thinking, oh my goodness, these stories are amazing. Will I be able to do this? Can this work for me? And this is so much more than you could ever expect. So amazing. Thank you, Michelle, for all you do for us. You are just
Oh,
amazing.
thank you. I love your story. And it's so awesome to see, just your vision and everything change and what's happening in South Africa. So just thank you for being you. And it's an honor to work with you. Let me just say that. So thank you.
Thank you.
So one of the questions I seen, somebody said, what are all of the expenses? Such a great question. So when you purchase your program, you are either going to launch your business with the Legacy Builder program for $900, or launch your business with the Digital Mastery for $600, or launch your business with the Passive Daily Pay Blueprint for $300, or launch your business with the Launchpad. Okay. After you do that, you're immediately going to pay your $29 website fee to give you access to a pre-built website. You guys, you don't even got to worry about building a website. It's pre-built. All you're going to do, the website, is plug in your domain. So you're going to want to, and the website is $29, right? So your program, $29. And then you are going to have a one-time fee or a website fee for your domain, which here in the US, if you get it through GoDaddy, it's like $1.99 to $3.99 for the entire year. And then you're going to want to get a professional email that's attached to that, which I think it's like $20 a year. After that, there's no monthly expenses. The automated sales process that I showed you, we give that to you. The funnel system at zero cost to you. The website, all you're going to do is connect your domain in your payment gateways. So when somebody buys, it goes into your bank account. And then you're going to also add a picture of you and a little paragraph, and it's connected and it's ready to go. You guys could launch your business today, have it up and going by this evening or tomorrow, the latest, if you want. So that's it. That was one of the things that was so important to me. And that was build a business with no monthly expenses. I actually built my business to 6 figures without it costing a dime. So good question on that. Now, what I want to do real quick, I don't even know if he can share real quick, is Daryl, are you available to share?
Oh, yes. Can you hear me?
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay, awesome. I wasn't even expecting to share today, but listen to everybody else's testimonials. Guys, if y'all don't know who I'm Daryl Hannah, just an old country boy down here in Tennessee, in the middle of everywhere between Nashville, Knoxville, Chattanooga, a couple hours from Memphis. Originally from Missouri. So I just wanted to say, you don't have to, I didn't come from money. I actually grew up in the projects and on welfare, if that makes any sense for anybody. So, but what I used to do, guys, I used to work a job as a welder for like 14 years at a job. I was a 3-time employee of the month. I was in a department where I was a head welder over six other people. And at this job, I was working just like a lot of you guys, 40 to 60 hours a week, 6-7 days a week, every Saturday, every Sunday, holidays, vacations, birthdays, you name it, just miserable, no life. I'm still struggling, behind on all my bills, borrowing from Peter to pay Paul, like a lot of us. And so I just come into work on a regular Tuesday, just like any other day. And so they called me to the office. I get called to the office, and it's my lead and my supervisor and my supervisor's boss. And so, they come telling me that they're making some changes, and, they're deciding to go into another direction. So the department that I was over was getting moved. Now, you figure if somebody has been at a job for over a decade, you figure they would have seniority, because back in the day, if that happened, you had seniority, they would just put you somewhere else. You just take somebody else's spot. But I be telling people now, the way that the job market is going is becoming extinct. So that's why so many people are losing their jobs. And so now, if you have seniority and they decide to move, they don't want to pay you. They don't want to pay you the money. They don't want to pay you health care. So to keep from doing that, they're going to let you go, and they'll train somebody else with less experience. That they don't care. They're willing to do that, So the days of having seniority is over. And I still thought I had seniority, being someone who was all about numbers, running all these numbers, and 105, 10% welding, top welder. And so they couldn't move me. At least they told me that. And so myself, along with 6 other people, had to get let go. And so I guess the big thing for me is, like, once I got outside the gate, I was actually just in my car, because I think when you look back, you figure if you've been at a job for a long time, you figure you got seniority. They give us pats on the backs. They tell us we're doing great. They come in once a month, and have the top man will come in once a month and do this quarterly speech. And it's all just to keep you and inspire you to keep on working, being away from your family while they're spending all the time with their family and doing the things that you want to be doing. But you're not able to. And so I caught myself in the car crying, hurt. And because of that situation, it caused a lot of problems in my family. So I got separated from my family. I had to go stay in a homeless shelter for a little bit. I had to stay in my car for a little bit. But during those times, man, I just kept converting back to that job. And just I guess I guess I was just telling myself, like, I had a hard time accepting the fact that what they done to me, they didn't think about my family. They didn't think about anything. It's like I was just a number. I was basically a full-time employee with a badge. And so I just told myself I didn't want to work for another job anymore. I just couldn't see myself doing that. And so, make a long story short, guys, I just came online. I heard about a lot of people making money online. I didn't know anything about the online space. I came online, I remember going to the library, I typed in looking for ways to make money, come across a couple of things. And so I came into the online space. And I want to say this too, Michelle. I don't know if I ever said this. Guys, when I first came online, I lived in a shelter. I was in a homeless shelter when I first made my investment and I came online, right? And so I did a couple of things. I did affiliate marketing, multi-level marketing, network marketing, not digital marketing, life insurance. I did everything. And so 8.5 months ago, I didn't even know what digital marketing was. I mean, I didn't know what it was. And if I did, I guess it didn't register with me. And so I came across a post that a girl made on Facebook about a community and how she made $600 from her phone working 2 hours. I reached out to her. I checked out the information. It was a video of Michelle. I remember watching it. I checked out the information. I got on the website. I saw the website. I was looking at all the programs and I was not the program. Sorry. I was looking at the community. Inside she had sent me the website itself. And I kept thinking like, wow, this is crazy. And so once I got to looking at everything, I basically told myself, I said, so this is what I've been missing in my business. And so what I ended up doing, guys, 48 hours after I got that information, I decided to join the program. And so once I joined the program, I got inside the community. And one thing that I love about the community was the fact of how welcoming everybody was, and which was something new for me. But to make a long story short, guys, I got plugged into the program. I started on January the 15th. So my first 2 weeks, I just jumped into the 2-hour workday, which is inside of the training. I started copying and pasting the ads on the high traffic websites. And my first 2 weeks, happened to make $5,000 those first 2 weeks. And so I realized that I was already onto something because I never made $5,000 working 12 hours a day, 7 days a week as a welder. And so I just kept on plugging into the training, showing up on the webinars, showing up on the mentoring calls, just going through just trying to master to our workday, watching people like Victoria, Michelle, and Amy and Tim, a lot of the people who were really, really doing well. And guys, I just kind of took off. And I think my first 5-figure month was March. I was my first breakout month. I made $38,000 in March. And that's when I realized that I was onto something. And again, you don't understand the power of this industry because I didn't realize digital marketing was this massive as far as like the amount of income that you can make, which is $1 billion a day industry. And then the power of social media. And of course, the blueprint itself, really just working around 2 hours a day, creating a couple pieces of content. And so I say this, guys, I was able to hit my first 6 figures, even though when I joined, I said my goal is to make 6 figures by the end of December. I hit my first 6 figures in 112 days, so a little bit under 4 months, and working just about 2 hours a week. 2 hours a day. And then I went on and hit my second 6 figures right at the 8-month mark. So I've been doing this for about 8.5 months. And I'm about $12,000 earned since in my first 8.5 months. And when I joined, I didn't have a following. I wasn't even on TikTok. I didn't have no brand. I was just someone who was willing to be coachable and just follow exactly what Michelle had put together. And I'll say this, man, I do a lot of content. I'm right up the road from a really, really nice park with waterfalls, and I do a lot of my content there. Guys, there's just nothing like freedom. And when I say freedom, I'm just talking about like time freedom, like where you can just wake up and you don't have a boss. And it's crazy to me that I get to wake up knowing that I only have a 2-hour workday and I can do it anytime I want. I can